my absolute pleasure to introduce our next speaker. I've been thinking about Nigel a lot because I think he's nailed the creativity dilemma. And his premise is, look, that's all well and good, but who's actually leading them back in the business? How do you lead creatives? And I think what Nigel's perfect for is any place where you need to get the leadership understanding the quality of creativity. Ladies and gentlemen, could you please welcome our first speaker to stage, Nigel Collin.
So, I want to talk about creativity, but I want to talk about creativity in business. And probably more importantly, what I really want to talk about is how to capitalise on creativity so that you actually get results. Now, to do that, as Matt alluded to, I don't want to talk about how to be more creative. What I do want to talk about is how you actually lead creative people. In other words, how do you inspire the creativity of people within a business, but then direct it so that you get commercially viable results? Because that is a very, very different tale. And the reason that that is so important is because, well, quite frankly, creativity is sexy. And it's sexy on a number of different levels, but primarily because it adds huge value to business. How many people in this room have an iPod? Whoa! Look at that, look at it. Keep your hands up if you can. Add to that, if you don't have it, you've got two, both hands please. Thank you. Oh, look at that, who's got an iPhone as well? Look at that. Don't you find that amazing? See, because Apple is a really good example of an organisation that has enterprised creativity. Oh, did you know you can get the entire Britney Spears greatest hits collection on a 4 gig iPod and still have 4 gig of memory left? But only 17% of people say that they're utilising creativity, because you don't have to be an Apple, you don't have to be an IBM. You know, any organisation, no matter how big, how small, can and should be enterprising creativity. See, one of the really important things about creativity is an element of play. Because play is all about finding things and discovering things. If you think of a kid with an empty box, you know, an empty box to a child is not an empty box. It's a rocket ship. It's a house, you know. Kids are great at playing. And if you think back to George Land's experiment, you know, someone in the room would have said, oh, kids are just really good at playing, at imagining, at doing stuff. And play also rises up. We'll talk about this in just a second. Play also gets you in a happier state of mind. 1, 2, 3. Now, very quickly, while you're in that state of mind, I want you to blue sky an idea. I want you to tell the person next to you one thing you are going to do in the next fortnight that will change your cultural, organisational structure. One thing you can do that will make you a more creative organisation based on something we've spoken about, or maybe something that's just popped into your head. I don't care. Very quickly, tell the person next to you one thing you are going to do. I would actually like to leave you with a challenge. And the reason that I want to do that is because I am on a quest. And my quest is to change the creative landscape of Australia. In his book, Flight of the Creative Class, Richard Florida talks about Australia being the 12th most creative country in the world. Now that might sound pretty good, but I actually reckon we're better than that. I think we deserve to be in the top 10. And if we're going to do that, if we're going to move from number 12 up into the 10th position or even higher, we need to know how to lead our creative people. We need to know how to enterprise creativity. And in order to do that, we need to know how to inspire the creativity of other people. So here's my challenge. If at the end of today, when everybody leaves this room, if each of us can inspire just one person to be more creative, to believe that they can be more creative, without fear of ridicule, without criticism. If we can inspire just one more person to push that extra level, not just to push the envelope, but to break the envelope, and to be more creative in everything they do, then as of today, we would have begun to change the creative landscape of this country. And that is very, very sexy. Thanks very much.